Good evening and welcome to a special edition of Modern Wall Street. Today I'm joined by Christopher Blasi, the president of Neptune Global Holdings, and we'll be talking precious metals. Chris, good evening and thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Remy. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, you're joining me on a Thursday afternoon and it is fairly quiet in terms of market-moving headlines. But in the past several sessions, we've been seeing plenty of headline as well as risk-on, risk-off trading. So I do want to get your bigger picture outlook. What do you expect to see in the economy and out from the Fed Reserve?
Okay, well, to us, it looks like that we might be heading back into a recession. And we see the Federal Reserve talking about raising rates and raising rates into a recession, which is kind of an unprecedented action. Now, from the precious metals market, people, if they've been following gold as the proxy or the to represent precious metals, you can see that it's been rising, and it's been rising for the last 2 years. To a lot of people, it doesn't look like it is, but it's kind of a 2 steps forward, 1 back. But for us, it's a kind of a harbinger, and it's a tell of what's coming in the future.
Okay, well, Chris, now that we've covered that, I do want to get your take on precious metals. Now, at least for today's trading session, the US dollar is stabilizing, so we're seeing gold and silver off, and we're seeing platinum as well as palladium trade slightly higher on the session. But I understand Neptune Global Holdings has a product called PMC Ounce, so can you explain how it works and what the advantages are?
Sure. What the PMC Ounce is, we took basically the best of 2 worlds. The ease of trade of like an ETF or fund, but with the actual physical bullion ownership. So we brought these 2 together and we've received a patent for it. So it trades in real time and it allows an individual to buy or sell a turnkey portfolio of precious metals. And it's also been logically weighted so that the amount of money that's going into gold is not the same as platinum or palladium because gold is still the primary precious metal. But what's the value of being this blended return, this diversified portfolio is the precious metals don't move in lockstep. You know, there are times when gold is rallying because it's a monetary metal, and then you have silver, which moves on partly monetary reasons and partly industrial, and then platinum and palladium, which are industrial. And even with platinum and palladium versus silver, there's macroeconomic and geopolitical issues that are unique to each one.
And if people in the audience are interested in learning more about this PM Ounce product, where do they actually go?
Sure. They can go to our website, neptuneglobal.com. We have a lot of tools there that, first of all, just give a general description of the product. But probably the most informative is what we have called the PMC calculator. It lets an individual go through a mock trade of the PMC Ounce, buying it. It shows you not just what the purchase price is, but more importantly, what's the breakdown of the metals.
And I do want to get a better feel for how this product eliminates volatility. So can you tell me how that works?
Sure. You know, on their own, the precious metals are generally pretty volatile, especially something like silver and palladium. But by combining them, and since they do not move in lockstep, there are times that one may be rallying or rising while the other may be flat to down. We've shown, and it's actually demonstrated on our homepage with an interactive chart going from 2008 to the present, that we have a more blended, smoother return. So when you see those spikes like in silver, where silver ran close to $50 an ounce in 2011, and now it's down at 17, you'll see the PMC Ounce, yes, it's capturing the upside benefit of silver, but it doesn't have those violent spikes.
And Chris, now that we've covered that, I do want to move on over to cryptocurrencies. I understand you're a critic of cryptocurrencies, but we know that there's been a lot of focus on Bitcoin as well as other currencies alongside blockchain. So tell us your take on that and where you see these cryptocurrencies going in the near future.
Okay, just to clarify, I'm not a critic. I just think there's some misperceptions of what they really are. I think it's a very dynamic technology, and I think that technology is going to manifest itself in many ways going forward, which is a different take on just being a form of money. The one thing I will say is, quite often you'll hear people say, is Bitcoin the new gold? And, you know, there is a place for cryptocurrencies, but it's not gold. As a matter of fact, there's so many characteristics that are just completely the opposite of what gold is. You know, one being very tangible, you know, and something you actually have in your possession versus something that is not. It's always in cyberspace. So you know, it's a big topic. You know, we love to expand on it. It's not that one is better than the other, but to dispel the confusion, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is not a substitute for physical precious metals. And so they each have a unique place within a person's portfolio.
And Chris, last but not least, before I let you go, I do want to get your take on geopolitics. We know that headlines that are about geopolitics have a tendency to affect the broader market as well as precious metals. So
Yes.
how do you factor that into your strategy?
Well, the precious metals kind of thrive in chaos. And right now there's a lot of turmoil, there's a lot of uncertainty, both economically and politically around the world. So the precious metals are serving as that hedge, as that store of wealth in such times. I'll go back to, gold has been rising again for the last 2 years, and gold is generally a harbinger of what's to come. I mean, if people look back at the last big crisis in 2008, gold went on a tremendous run in the years prior. And people did not see the economic turmoil that was coming, but really the gold world did. So I think it's signaling that we could have some rough waters ahead. Maybe it's just kind of a devaluation of the dollar, but the precious metals look to have a run of several years in front of them that will be quite bullish.
Well, Chris, we do know that market cycles do come and go, so thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for your insight.
Thank you, Remy.